Hey, what's up, guys? I just woke up and this is hilarious. Alright, so what happened was I turned on CNN and they're talking about Crimea and Ukraine and all that. And so, of course, CNN's, their host is spinning the regular jargon about how, oh, Russia is so bad and we should go to war. But then you got these three people on here, right? And they sit there and they just spit out the plain facts. And what's so funny is the fact that they keep doing it and they're like, gotta go to commercial. it's funny. It's hilarious. It looked just like that. But we'll see. Oh, I thought it was coming back on. But so they're talking about how Yanukovych got elected to presidency and all kinds of stuff, man. It's just, it's like raising doubts about why Obama would raise the red flag and go into war with Russia just because. It's just, I swear, it's all I can almost swear to you somebody was back there like, cut, they're speaking the truth. Go to commercial. So hopefully it comes back on here today. Oh, some free advertisement for these lovely folks. Here we go. It must be coming back on. Yeah. Here.
And we are back for more with Krista Freeland, Stephen Cohen, and Stephen Kotkin. Krista, you were shaking your head before the break when Steve Cohen was speaking about Ukraine. And the crucial issue is Ukraine divided? And the reason this is important is because, are we dealing with some part of the population that would rather be part of Russia's sphere, or, as you seem to feel, most of the country really wanting to be part of the West?
So, of course, Ukraine is divided. No democratic country is unanimous. But what is important to state is that there is no division in Ukraine about the legitimacy of Yanukovych. It is striking that what happened was...
The old president who was deposed,
yeah.
Even though deposed in a somewhat extra-constitutional manner.
Well, and actually, what happened in the end was this regime melted away. He fled, and his armed supporters melted away. In Parliament now, his former MPs are strongly against him. So Ukraine is united in reviling Yanukovych. In terms of the West and Russia, the other thing that is crucial to point out is prior to this moment, there was no separatist movement in any part of Ukraine. Think about it. Ukraine has been independent for more than 22 years. There was no Abkhazia, Transnistria, Ossetia type movement, even in Crimea, which is the only part of Ukraine that has a majority ethnic Russian population.
Steve, I said that you said we were 2 steps from the Cuban Missile Crisis. Actually, you said we're 1 step from the Cuban Missile Crisis, 2 steps from war. Why war?
Why war? There's clamor in Europe and Washington to move NATO troops to the Polish-West Ukrainian border. This is an option being considered. 2 days ago, NATO aircraft landed on Polish airfield. I don't know what that means. But if we, the West, move NATO troops to that border, I am guessing, educated guessing, that Putin will send those 150,000 troops he was practicing last week into southern and eastern Ukraine. That will be the Cuban Missile Crisis plus, and you know how close we came to war. Therefore, your point in your lead is how do we get people to sit down? Let me just say one thing about this. Putin doesn't trust or like Obama. He thinks he's weak, irresolute, and doesn't keep his word. Putin trusts Merkel, the Chancellor of Germany. Merkel has to come into this and talk to both of these leaders, and now, today, and I assume she already is.
Stephen Kotkin, last thoughts. We've got about a minute.
So what you've got here is finding a way for Putin to climb down without losing face domestically in a way that is acceptable to the EU, the U.S., but above all to Ukraine. This resounds into East Asia. Right now, the Russians are on their hands and knees begging the Chinese to accept the de facto annexation of Ukraine, should there be, of Crimea, should there be the referendum, and should the referendum, whose results will be falsified, report a majority in favor of annexation for Russia. So they're on their hands and knees to the Chinese. What do you want? Please, we'll give you anything, including gas at less than world prices. Now, in East Asia, you have unsettled borders everywhere you look. So the settlement of Crimea and the Ukrainian situation is absolutely critical going forward for the entire international system, especially East Asia.
Krista, 30 seconds. You met with the Ukrainian Minister of Economy. Now, this strikes me as perhaps the world's most thankless job at this point. Can Ukraine survive economically?
Well, first of all, as a fan of your show, what they would like to do if they don't have a war is really radical economic reforms, starting with making the government less corrupt. So one of the first things they did is get rid of almost all the cars that the ministry had. The acting prime minister flew commercial economy class for his meeting to Brussels. A big part of what they need to do, I agree with Stephen, the Ukrainian elite have been dreadful, and what they would like to do, if left to their own devices, is form a normal, transparent government. That's going to be hard enough.
15 seconds, Steve Cohen. Can Ukraine survive independently if Russia is against it?
No, but there's no reason why it should be faced with that either-or choice, and that's exactly what the European Union did back in November and brought on this crisis.
Fantastic discussion. Thank you, guys. Lots more ahead on the show. Israel's Minister of Economy will tell us why he disagrees with his boss, Bibi Netanyahu, on peace in the Middle East. Up right next, what in the world? China has eased its one-child policy.
Okay, so pretty much Obama is stupid. Anybody probably watching this channel could agree. We're at an all-time low of acceptance of a president. I don't remember ever hearing about another president who had a 59% disapproval rate and another Congress that had a 91% disapproval rate. So here we are with this, and we're doing nothing, but Ukraine is out on the streets. They're going through the same situation, it seems. I mean, whether or not, you can agree or disagree with we're going through the same thing, like physically, it doesn't matter. We're going through the same thing with how people feel, and we're technically animals too, because the reason why I say that is because even animals kind of get that sense that something wrong is going on, right? So to put off people as conspiracy theorists all the time is just ridiculous. But if you can catch the full program, what they were saying, they were sticking it to that guy before that section. They pretty much told them to calm the fuck down. I mean, I can tell they had to, because they went from bashing this guy to doing probably half that much intensity. I don't know. So there are facts out there that CNN is not really willing to put out. There are facts out there that Obama is not willing to put out. They don't want you to know everything, the whole truth. They're trying to sell you a war, just like Bush did. Even if 9/11 was or wasn't fake, I'm not saying it was or wasn't. I really couldn't tell you, because I don't have enough concrete evidence to tell me that it was fake or that it wasn't. I just don't. Until somebody can provide that, I won't be. But Obama's trying to sell you people a war. Whoever the 41% out there that approves of this guy to be our president is, he's trying to sell you a war. He wants your family to go out to Russia and die because they just, I don't know. I mean, I couldn't tell you. I don't know what their problem is. Why are we so quick to go to war? And why are we so quick to just let them sell it to us? Like, oh, okay, well, you must be right. You're our president. Derp, 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 okay, give me a quarter. Now, come on, people. You really want your family members and your neighbors to die because of Obama and his BS? Not because of an actual legitimate fight. Not because something that's, you know, really legit. You go to war over something that hits you at home. For one, that you can't allow, you absolutely cannot allow, or else it will enslave you or corrupt your life or corrupt the economy, or it's a tyrannous government maybe. No, not even that. It's not your government. So here we are, we're quick to go to war, we're being strangled to death by greed, we're being lied to at every step of the way, we're not given all the facts, added on to that, but yet even though the people are not given all the facts, even though we, the people, don't even check on all the facts, don't even try to figure it all out first, even though we don't do that, we still march our boats over to their seas, their oceans. You know, we still try to take control on their borders. We still march our troops over there, ready to fight, as if, oh, we're so sure that something's really wrong here that we're ready to go to war. It's not something to take lightly, people. You can sit behind on your couch and watch your TV all day while people in Afghanistan sit there and fire their guns and fight a war against Taliban. It's easy to do that. You gotta realize what you're doing here. You're sending people to war. Would you want to go to war right now? Would you want to go over there and start firing Russians? No, you wouldn't. So, my point is, if there's any point, I guess, is that we are, on some level, at the very least, being lied to. And so you can't just chalk everything up to conspiracy theory. I mean, they're getting, these conspiracy theorists, as you so call them, are getting their words from somewhere. They're not just pulling things out of the air. You know, maybe they're misinterpreting something, that's fine, but you can't just chalk everything up to a conspiracy theory. Because these people just went on CNN and countered every point with straight facts. They seem well educated on the subject at hand. They seem like it's their job to be educated on it. They did good. I mean, if it was a phony presentation, they did really good at keeping their mouths shut, especially with 3 people there. It's easy for one person to lie and get their story straight. To have 3 people throw out non-conflicting facts about a very urgent and dire situation is extremely hard. And to sell it properly? Yeah. Oh yeah, I can tell you they're lying. So, that's my point. I know, too, like, you might not want things to be bad. You don't want this or that to be happening. You want to be able to trust your president and say, okay, well, whatever he's A-okay with, I am too. That's okay. You know, I understand. You want that. But you should be frustrated more than in pity. You really should be. You should be frustrated. Ukraine is, and they're trying to overthrow their corrupt government. They're actually doing something about it. And I bet they're going to be the people to wake us up. All of us. I'm not saying we have to go with their religion, but you know what I mean. So, yeah, I wish I could have got the rest of it, but it's out there somewhere. So, I'll see you guys.